Okay guys, I'm here today, Ffion Davies and Gabriel Souza. Huge honor for me. Guys, if you follow Jiu-Jitsu, you might be seeing like they're both in the top of the ranking. So Ffion just won the ADCC last year and won the Worlds this year. So gi and no gi. She's literally the best on her weight. And Gabriel is winning everything as well, all the super fights and tournaments, and he's climbing up, and he got second in the ADCC last year and is one of the favorites for the ADCC next year. And Ffion is shooting an entire instructional here all about guard passing, and today she's going to show us here one of her favorite moves, which is very cool. I think you will like it. That's it.
Cool. Yeah, so the whole instructional is basically, it's going to be guard passing, but I think with that perspective of being smaller and training with bigger people. So I think it can be helpful, regardless of gender as well. I think it can be helpful regardless of what weight you are too. But I wanted to show another example of that. So an example of one thing where I find, again, we're taught to try and keep like good pressure, and I love that style of passing. Again, it's really hard to practice it though when your partners are bigger than you. So I love going for a smash pass, and I will do my best to achieve it, but I like to have things as alternatives if I can't get to that position. So from from the HQ here, headquarters, when I'm here, I'll try and fold my partner's knees to the side here and go through my smash pass. But what I find is I end up getting stuck on the center hook here. And instead of maybe elevating me in this direction, from this direction here, when they're trying to open their hips back out,
they just create a barrier with their leg, right?
It kind of gets kind of stiff. Okay, so I think of it when this kind of happens, my partner's not being stiff, but they're kind of like a solid base, and they're keeping my weight from smashing the knee all the way down here, but they're not exactly like, they're not being limp with their leg, because I've shown this to people before, and their UK is sort of like just relaxed. If that's the case, if their leg is relaxed down, I can just smash. So when it becomes like this like solid point where they're keeping me elevated, I like kind of imagine my partner's a climbing frame. So instead of me trying to push his leg down, whether it's with my hands, my hips, or whatever I'm trying to do, and using force in a situation where he's obviously stronger than me, I'll move around them and take advantage of the fact that I'm faster, that I'm lighter, to get to the other side. So when I'm here and I'm in this position, I'm going to move my hips in that same position to go for a smash. So where I'm tucking my knee under here, and I'm trying to drive my hips over the knee to get it to connect to the mat. So in this case, you can see it could be either I got stuck it on the initial entrance here, or even if I get it low and then they start to open out here as a reaction. So when I'm here, I'm gonna keep this leg here behind his leg so it's nice and safe, so it doesn't start to fall into the pocket where things can get dangerous. I'll keep it tucked nice and tight behind his calf here. And when I'm stuck, he may even be gripping me or whatever's going on, yet trying to elevate here. I'm gonna maintain this collar grip and I'm gonna post through it. So both of my hands are gonna be locked out here from the beginning. I'm keeping my hand at the shoulder and I'm basing through his chest. And then with my backhand, I'm posting. So you can see how it can easily be transitioned into no-gi, and that's something that I really like to be able to do, is switch my passes, gi to no-gi, because I want to be able to compete one weekend gi and one weekend no-gi, regardless.
And you have been doing that and proving that it works really well.
I just love both, and I don't want to let either go. So you can do it no-gi too, and just base both hands, but here, I get extra elevation when I can base on his chest here. So my knee is tucking underneath. I'm gonna elevate both my feet. Now this can be by choice, or it could be that they're so much bigger, you end up here. So if we were doing it together, this is where I probably would be across the room, but my feet wouldn't be on the floor. So I'm gonna base here, and I'm gonna do it in slow motion first. I'm gonna bring my hips back, and I'm gonna land in the leg drag.
And it fits so well like that.
You're like slotting into the gap. And I found that if I stay where I'm hunched over and my body is concave, like this, right? He can track my hooks. If I stayed here and I tried just to do like a back step, but with my body in this position, he can still track me, especially if he had really long legs, right? So I can kind of do like a swivel and then around, but it gets really, really messy in that case if my body is hunched over or I'm in this sort of posture. So I'm gonna switch from this posture, change like the plane of my body, so that when I'm here and I'm taking my heels back, his hooks can't hook onto anything, it'll slide off naturally. So rather than like doing a back step or swiveling my legs in any kind of way, I'm just changing my posture. So when I'm hooking underneath, I lift. I'm gonna take both of my heels up to my butt, And I'm also gonna open my body out here. And this is gonna make it much harder for him to maintain a hook in between my legs here. So like I'm gonna go here, and then both my knees come back, and naturally I just slip off his hooks. And now when I end, I'm keeping my hips connected to his thigh.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna land in a leg drag. Because if I stay here and I just slide to the side, look, you can easily just bring his knee back in. So,
and you'll land right on the leg drag, kind of.
Yeah, so I'll end up like this if I don't slot myself back into place. So I'll go from hunched over posture, open, and then I hunch again. So I reconnect my knee and my elbow, and then from here, I can just go into a guard pass really easy.
I get it. Oh, Ffion, a question for you, not super related about this technique. So you are the perfect example of someone who is being able to be successful with gi and no gi. Do you think this is a lot because the way, as you just said, like you try to do moves that can apply for both?
Yeah, I always enjoyed both, and it was always, I could see people were going in different directions, and I could definitely, you know, relate to that. I was like, oh, like maybe I need to do that, maybe I have to pick and make a choice. But I saw so many other girls in my division and heavier divisions too, or lighter divisions, who were doing both like consistently. And I was like, okay, maybe it's not the time right now in women's jiu-jitsu where it's so prevalent that you have that big gap. Whereas with the guys, you can really see a big dramatic difference. And certain people into no-gi, certain people just kind of sticking with gi. You didn't really see it as much with the girls. It's definitely happening now. A lot more people are splitting off, but it's not something that I want to do anytime soon. I can't make any promises for the future, but right now I want to be able to do both. So it's always important to me to, also not just for the reason of like, because I enjoyed doing both, because I love both, but also because I'm very competitive. And I don't like the I don't like the thought of someone being like, oh, come to gi class, but I've only been training no gi for 6 months, and then being like, I have a really rough time.
No, and I'm asking because, for example, in my case, my gi game was very was always using lapels. And then going to no gi was always a hard time. Like, where are my lapels? You know, like, so it's cool that you have this idea of picking the moves that overlaps for both, because I think it makes life much easier. And
it does, and I don't think it was conscious at first. It wasn't something I was doing on purpose, kind of picking them. I wasn't like, oh, this is the perfect way. It just naturally happened, and then I kind of shied away from games that were like, I like to play around with lapels and I like to play with spider, but it's not my main focus. But I think just naturally I always like preferred that like no-gi style, but in the gi, and it's worked well so far. You know, I haven't had to. Obviously, I've had to learn how to deal with those positions that are a little bit more grip reliant, but I haven't had to start to play them as much myself. Obviously, I have like certain knowledge to a certain degree, but it hasn't been like the main focus of my game, and hasn't needed to. So hopefully, I can keep doing both for as long as possible.
Got it. Oh, okay, Brian, you have the same mindset as well? Because, for example, when I see you passing the guard, it's pretty similar the way you pass gi and no gi. Like, it's a lot of pressure, and so you kind of try to keep the same concept as well.
Yeah, I try to keep the same concept, and I try to use my. Sometimes I'm focused a lot on pressure, but I think most of my passes are relying on speed. Because like it's very good, like gi and no gi. I think gi it's a little harder to do more speed because they have more grips to rely on,
friction,
like belt and gi and sleeves and everything. And then most of the times you can see like they try to slow me down on the fight, but in no gi that is not really as much like what I can do, like to hold me down while we're fighting, right? So it's like I try to figure out a game that I can do, like even if I'm not training the gi, whenever I transition from no gi, like I'm in the no gi season, but I want to do gi, it's gonna be easier to transition as well. So I'm not relying as much on grips as well. So it's like I try to always keep it, I wouldn't say simple, but similar, the game and the mindset. So I could be doing like both at the same time if it's necessary. Right. No, like, but I feel like right now, for me at least, the season is very separate. Like I have gi season, I have no gi season. I do train no gi while I'm competing in the gi.
Gi January to June and no gi June.
Yes, because of the tournaments. Like they bring more super fights after gi worlds. It's more no gi super fights. Right before there's more.
I wonder how it's gonna be next year, because they made the ADCC a little earlier, right? So it's gonna be like middle of August or something.
It's gonna be intense.
So it's gonna be intense. This is the last 3 or 4 months. And in December, so August in Las Vegas, that's gonna be interesting.
Very
super hard.
I can't wait really easy though, so that's good. We'll be sweating the whole time.
But anyways, so guys, make sure to check it out. So Ffion just shared an entire instruction all about guard passing, and it's gonna be at bjjfanatics.com very soon. So as you guys can see, she's an amazing instructor as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please help me out to grow my YouTube channel. Just click subscribe. And to watch more videos, just click under see more videos. I hope you enjoyed.
BJJFanatics.com. Use the promo code YouTubeFaria to get 10% off any instructional video. Improve your jiu-jitsu faster.